as it is that there are always two equations trying to cancel each other out. The human mind, through its free will and perception, will create an element of reality that is either right and wrong, and the right will always try to cancel out the wrong. Or righteousness and sin, and what we deem to be righteous will try to cancel out the sin. Or positive or negative. What we deem to be positive will be there to cancel out the equation of what is negative. Now, love and lust are two sides of an equation trying to cancel each other out. But here is the difference. There's a big difference. Can our mind, through its own understanding, free will, and then its perception, hold a monopoly on love and lust to do this? Or do our minds have to participate to either allow one or the other to cancel each other out? See, the thing about things that come to become religions, ideas, our perception of truth is that our mind can give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then things cancel each other out. but greater than that is, what comes first? The perception of love, the perception of lust, or the reality of love, or the reality of lust? What is the definition of lust? Wanting, more, having an appetite, craving for this, craving for that. What is the definition of love? Basically putting self-sacrifice for the interest of other people and also for the interest of karma to come and visit us back in a positive and a good way. So, do our minds hold a monopoly over those two things? When we live every day and all that, in order to want things, in order to do this, or strive for that, or we have that appetite, is that something we have to think about, or is that something that is inherently within our being? That motivates our being, that motivates our thinking, that motivates our thoughts. What comes before it? The perception, or that motivating our minds to create a perception? Same thing with love. When we want to be nice, when we want to do the right things, or exemplify good behavior or self-sacrifice, what comes before that? Just the need to do, does the need to do that come and then the perception comes, or does the perception have to give that thing meaning? You look at blood and water. Those two things ultimately give the physical appearance mobility. Now let's just say that we take the definition of lust, which is wanting, having an appetite, getting this and that, and the definition of love, which is doing something selfless, which is being kind, which is showing hope and self-sacrifice. Maybe in a lot of cases because somebody gives us marital completion. Let's say we take those two things out of the equation. Then what is the human soul left with? Well, a lot of people could say it's left with ideas, with science, religion, or this and that, and technology, and, well, it's nice to have those things, but in order to have those things, we gotta have to want, now do we? In order to have basically a perception of positive, negative, and create perceptions that are good for us, we're gonna have to want to self-sacrifice other ideas that it's kind of like it's interesting. We're kind of like vessels in the grand scheme of things. So, if lust and love are the equivalent to our mental being and gives us mobility in the same way that blood and water gives our physical being, then inherently it would be fair to say that all of this is basically a vessel carrying the both of them. Now, ultimately, if we are vessels carrying the both of them, the only thing we could do through our thinking is give ourselves either to one or the other.